This is The Space Shot, episode 33 for June 16th, 2017. Valentina Tereshkova. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. A quick update for the next couple days. I am going to be recording on the road, so I'm not going to have as good of audio quality as I normally do. One other quick note. SpaceX was originally scheduled to launch a rocket tomorrow afternoon. That launch has now slipped to Monday afternoon at 1:10 p.m. Central Time. On Thursday, SpaceX completed a static fire test of the 9 Merlin engines that power the first stage of the Falcon 9. The static test of those previously flown Merlin engines ensures that everything is ready for the launch in a few days. Now for this day in space history. On June 16, 1963, Valentina Tereshkova became the first woman in space when she entered orbit in her Vostok 6 capsule. In the book, Challenge to Apollo, Asif Siddiqui extensively covers the selection process behind the first woman cosmonaut. The decision about who would become the first woman cosmonaut boiled down to, sadly, politics. At this time in the Soviet Union, one's party membership meant more than necessarily your technical skill or your flight hours or how many parachutes jumps you had done. It all boiled down to how active you were in the Communist Party. In a journal entry from Nikolai Komanyan, he quotes Tereshkova. She is active in society, is especially well in appearance, and makes great use of her authority among everyone she knows. While the Vostok 5 and 6 missions saw 2 cosmonauts in space simultaneously, the scientific merits of this mission weren't exactly apparent. In Challenge to Apollo, Asif Siddiqui notes that, quote, throughout the world, Soviet news services poured forth a plethora of rhetoric linking the flight to the inevitable progress of socialism. While there were some Westerners who correctly identified the flight as an exercise in pure propaganda, most were further cowed by the breadth and ambition of the Soviet space program. As Komanyan had predicted 2 years before, the flight was a brilliant political success all over the world. During her Vostok 6 flight, Tereshkova had difficulty performing many of the tasks that had been assigned to her. This wasn't the first time that humans had had difficulty completely adjusting to weightlessness. Both American and Soviet astronauts had had similar issues before Tereshkova's flight. Again, I do want to read briefly from the Challenge to Apollo. Siddiqui writes that, quote, part of this hostility towards Tereshkova was clearly because she was a woman. The standards by which all the engineers, physicians, and military officers judged her performance were completely different than for the men. Titov, who had suffered severe motion sickness and was unable to do many of the tasks assigned to him during his mission, was never considered a pariah after his flight. Unlike Tereshkova, he was recycled into other space projects, and neither Kamanin nor Korolev believed that he had failed their trust in him. Thus, while Tereshkova's flight was not an outright success, it was by no means a complete failure, as was seen by Komanyan and Korolev. One of the publicized aspects of Tereshkova's mission was that she had flown in space longer than all of the 6 Mercury flights combined, certainly a fantastic achievement considering the political dimension of the quote, space race. Over the weekend, I will dive into this mission a little bit more when I'm not on the road. I am driving today, so I'm not able to sit down at my computer and do as much as I normally would for this episode, so I do apologize for that. Tomorrow, we've got royalty on the space shuttle in addition to a little bit more with Tereshkova. I'm grateful that everyone's taking the time to listen to the show. It would mean a lot if you could leave a review on iTunes and Google Play Music. If you know someone that loves space, history, or pop culture, please share the Space Shot on Facebook, Insta, Twitter, anywhere you connect with your friends and family. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.